Well, thank you all for coming out here to the Castro version of the Fire Thieves. Thank you, Kim Shuck. Thank you, Paul Corman Roberts. Thank you, Dog-Eared Books, Alvin and Company. Thank you so much. So I'm going to get right into it. This first poem was written right around the corner from here, and it's about Eureka Valley and how our neighborhood is becoming a transaction. And the first line of the poem is the title of the poem, and this is a poem for here. Resentment of prose explodes. Down around the corner is 17th Street, avocado toast, and $8 lattes, where the boys in the 80s weren't the same anymore with a carefree blue pill. And who knew I lived to be 54 in a studio apartment near Dolores Park because I never smoked crystal meth yet. And I didn't zero convert yet. And I still don't have a plan, but a languishing condom in my back pocket where my comb used to be because follically challenged I've become. And I visit my mom in assisted living every 1 or 2, 3 weeks. And she asked me if I've lost weight. And I smile instead of turning a table over because a lot of my friends are dead, have been dying, or wasted away, or moved away, or relapsed into another world where having wine at dinner became an option and white-knuckling it upon waking and eyeing 5:00 p.m. too often, just past lunch. And the fruit shelf has been overrun by cisgender girls and their gender-conforming boyfriends who loudly proclaim their love of diversity through their white spaces, Sephora purchases, and littered beer bottles. And gentrification invades from all sides with my shoulder blades stiff and my fists tight, clenching my teeth. And Byrite hits the square and emails us our receipts straight out of the neighborhood. Thank you. Kim Shuck always reminds me there's no need to explain poems, just read them. So where we have gentrification here, there are other parts of the world where they have fences and shutting down their ability to love. This is a poem for over there. This is called Buckets of Rainwater. Proudly he awakens his 3 youngest at dawn. They'll share eggs, herring, and tea. Zeb, his oldest, won't visit from his conscription in Sinai for another 3 to 4 months, while an opaque gray of sadness clings to the walls and his wife Seja's ashes sit above the makeshift mantle. Her lungs first, then her uterus, metastasizing the entire family, and her parents now no longer allowed to travel with the pedestrian crossing closed. He remembers their weekly visits for groceries and toilet paper, the store owner Ezra, the scribe, when he held her, the store owner Elon sat with judgment like Ezra the scribe when he held her hand in the tight aisles, waiting in line for her medications. No hair left under her kimar, yet he would smirk and mumble under his breath, "See, they are weak. They even kill each other." His business was forcibly closed by decree. He could no longer buy or sell supplies to the West Bank. The tributary of walls have assured him it is forever. He's still confused that he no longer sees the love for humanity his parents instilled in him from crib to classroom, home to Sabbath, Mediterranean to Dead Sea. He looks forward to his children's sleepy eyes and shuttering the windows for the night. He will sip a small glass of Eric after their feet have lifted and are tucked away quietly in the far bedroom. An array of dogs barking and movement of armored vehicles can be heard in the distance. He holds on to his resentments like springtime buckets of rainwater near the Gaza Strip, as the tattered Star of David flies solemnly above and dangles tarnishing in 14 karat around his neck. Everything that falls from the sky like droplets of hate are owned by the promise, but his feelings are all his own. He says, so long as they persist in hatred of the other and the insistence on maintaining the seclusion, they're helping to create a group of people that do not belong to either one of the two nations, and love is forbidden alike. This next poem was written on Mother's Day, and this is a poem for them. This is called Slanted Winds Down Guerrero Street. The afternoon fog will roll in from the north and burn off first from the south. The bridges will hold the droplets of moisture until dinner time, as lovers embrace through locked lips, while a wingless angel forgotten stands at the glistening edge, leaping, ending the present. She'll flick the kitchen light on first and wake up her youngest last, standing slipperless in the hallway, remembering the miscarriage who couldn't wait. Tears always for the impatient. They say she didn't suffer long, she went quick. The rigor mortis set in as the body bag zipper snagged her lacy front nightgown her daughter bought her on a Mother's Day years ago forgotten. She still doesn't allow her husband to undress her at night, only cradle her softly with a nightlight visible, and her calls to the detective go unreturned, while her rape kit remains untested, 9 months old. Once gentrification visits a neighborhood, who will remember that name, those people, that corner, whose culture, that lost identity which invites us in to stay? The wind whips up and grabs the leaves and debris of last night, becoming today and the future, as a woman stands with her newborn, cradled in her arms, stale teardrops upon her neckline, her ignored days-old soiled hand extended outward, begging for her next meal. We lost a local artist on Monday, Yana Zigri. She painted the mural at the corner of Coal and Hate. This is called The Evolutionary Rainbow for Yana Zigri. She died at 73. The Evolutionary Rainbow at the intersection of 1967 and Timothy Leary, awash in a bordered spectrum of sperm, animal cities, and humans, a kaleidoscope of Roy G. Biv menagerie, unbroken 50 years forward. Yana, you are a Midwest transplant of the summer of love, your admiration rooted in a wave splashing upon all who've ambled along the corner at Coal and Hate, whether coming or going, sitting or lying, a gentle peace and an embrace of love. It tells a magical story when the breeze blows up from the panhandle in the springtime. Joan Baez's melodies mix with yellow flowers in her hair. In autumn, Dylan's orange leaves in the wind and in the sewer grate, changing with slivers of indigo. And in February's winter, hints of Nam in its bloody red. There are always lives in death and war. Today, candles, bouquets, photographs, and dedications, those leaving your memories in their thoughts, so you will live on, like the hippie uprising your mural reminds us, an era, a microdot on our tongues and in our strides. Okay. I used to come to this place with one of my first spiritual mentors back in the late 80s and early 90s. And through everything, he taught me how to love again. And this is a poem for him. And Vivian, thank you for coming. You've helped inspire. This is called How Gone Is Too Long. I remember your last breath staring straight up at the ceiling at Ward 86, clutching your book of Psalms. You had forgiven your family God, but cursed him on that day, asking why. That you had so much left to do. Your mind was unwavering, but your body's tissues had become foreign and unfamiliar, an unwanted visitor for a short stay. Thrush inhabited your throat. Your voice was felt in your fingertips, touching us all lightly as you left us. Eyes wide open, refusing to give the virus your sight. How gone is too long? Your interpretations in both the physical and spiritual realms have become my mantras, laughing at, if you turn it over and take it back, you're upside down. This keeping me right side up most days. And the first time you read aloud my poem about boys and heartache, you became quiet, stood in the moment, your irises filled with compassion, as you stated, when poetry is written, the angels are fluttering their wings. Allow the golden dust to sift down upon you. How gone is too long? You taught me saying, I don't know, is the promise which humility instills. Reflecting, we remain teachable, you said. It doesn't take away from us, but adds to the ability for others to share their experience, their strengths, their hopes, their weaknesses, and we remain right-sized, allowing integrity to be at full capacity. No chairs left for arrogance, and how a table for two, sitting across from you, you holding my hand in both of yours, inviting in the universe with plates full of grace, and the only spilled resentment comes that you didn't live long enough for a life-saving protease cocktail. How gone is too long? Our last walk, we strolled a late October afternoon before the wheelchair took your legs, celebrating another 365 days of your jubilance, buying a bouquet of Gerber daisies from your favorite Noe Street corner. You said, each one of them looked like a radiating bright sun. Sadly, your T cells were rapidly being extinguished. Your photo from that day still sits upon the mantle, and when a fire burns brightly below, your eyes twinkle, and I can see your smile tickling the flames. You would adorn yourself and your birthday wishes of soft satin baby blue ribbons hanging from each side of your face, and a hat constructed of colorful leftover wrapping papers sat atop your head. You would take agonizing minutes to unearth each gift, appreciating every small tear, while updating us all about your blood work, results with a childlike grin, never allowing us to dwell on the negative. How gone is too long? Before memories without you had become too old to remember, I would reach for the telephone. I wanted to touch base, let you in. You would love something that touched my heart and in turn bring us closer. But I would feel a heartbeat in my head that belonged to you and pause. Those realizations for years after, you were now an ash, and I had to appreciate our moments past and hold the anticipation forever. I ask, how gone is too long?